All right, everyone, welcome back to another interesting week in the markets. Kind of. We're really just where we were 2 Mondays ago, but we've done a lot to get there, which we'll go over, of course, because as always in this particular video series, I just take a look what happened this week. We take a look at potentially what could happen next week, and then for StatsEdge Pro members, I'll run the systems, and later on, maybe even Monday, because remember, it's a holiday weekend, you guys to your inbox will get your now like almost 40 different trade ideas. And if you are a StatsEdge Pro member, please make sure you join the Discord room. We have a bot there that will alert you in real time when a price is hit, so you can just look at the chart. And if you end up liking the stock, you can hit buy order. It has all of the rules wrapped in there. So we'll have a buy, and here's your stop loss, and this is how you get out. And you just look at it, and if it's something that you like and makes sense to you, then take the trade. So also, the day trading systems have been going very well, especially in this market, which has been a little bit volatile. So the swing trading is, not as fun, but the day trading has been great, and I'll show you some of those as well. So without further ado, we're going to get right into it. If I hit the right button right there, and just kind of go over again some of these day trades. This is what we're looking for today, and a lot of this will make sense why some of these are worked, right? Mara, we're getting in here at 15. So this one we're still kind of flat on. Beyond this one, we got in right off the open, up a little bit on that. QCOM has been fantastic, right? We got in pretty much right off the open in the 143 area right here, and we're up over 145. A lot of moves like this. And the reason for that is because the market is doing pretty much just that. So we gapped down this morning, some tweet nonsense, don't really care too much about, but it's very interesting where we gapped and why. So first of all, let's just put in the moving average, simple right there. Probably just leave this up anyway. The 200 period moving average is something that pretty much everyone watches, whether you're a technician or not. And we have come almost, not quite, almost right down to that. And then we have gotten some buyers. That is interesting to me solely because what I'm looking for on this particular pullback is what is the market participation like. So talked about this quite a bit last week and said, hey, look, this is the commitment of traders data. Talked about this on Monday, I think, or Wednesday when we were talking about the Bitcoin breakout. And you can see that they, ever since these lows here, the commitment of traders essentially been net short. So people are not, the big guys are not getting involved in this rally higher. So that's why on every dip so far, it's been an epic buying event. So the question is that going to continue? So far today, it has been, but we need to see that kind of carry over into potentially next week, right? Do they take the long weekend and they rip us up through the long weekend? Do we gap up higher on Tuesday? Those are the type of things that are very interesting because that's what makes an uptrend is you have stocks go up, and when they naturally have a pullback due to some reason, a tweet or whatever ends up being, are there people excited to buy at a higher price? If so, you're in an uptrend. If they wait for much lower prices to buy, then you're no longer an uptrend. You're sideways or down. So far, we are just hanging out right in the zone. Again, this area, this one or this 580 is a very important zone. If you go back, it was the lows way back here. It was the high right here. It's the 200-day moving average. It's the low of the gap after, I believe this was the China tariff talk news or whatever. Massive zone right here. So that makes the market interesting again because so far this has been fun to trade in the way that it's making a bunch of money, but there's no data that's being generated here. The data is only generated when the market dips. And again, how aggressive are those buyers coming in after that dip? That's really what I'm watching for here quite a bit. So let's take a look here at some of the equity indexes. We have the Qs that are doing a little bit worse today, but you can see how much higher they are than this gap. So what I'm doing as an exercise this weekend, and I think makes sense, is use that gap as now your relative strength anchor point and just say how far above or below that China chat, whatever we're going to call it, gap is. If we are below that, then we are a little bit weaker. So for example, for small caps, still we already closed the entire gap and then we're starting to bounce here. So small caps way below. We saw that the Qs a little bit further above, and the SPY somewhere in the middle. Whenever you see that, it means that the average stock is having a little bit harder of a time, as you can see here with the RSP, the equal weighted index. But big tech is leading us again. So it's leading us on the way up, and now it's leading us on the way down. There's no reason to think that will change until kind of noted otherwise. So some things I wanted to look at quickly is Bitcoin here. And we talked about this on Wednesday already, but we broke new all-time highs and we really, really rocketed to 112. And then with the rest of the market, came down a little bit. So it's very, very simple technical analysis. You want prior resistance to act as support. So far, that's what's happening here. So that is the area, in my opinion, to watch. This 109, 108 zone, this kind of pink zone I have painted out here, all the way down to maybe 105. If we pull back into that zone and buyers come in right away, then again, there's some strength there. If we lose that zone, maybe that was a bit of a fake out. All right, the positioning is still telling us that it won't be, but maybe that's a fake out. So we really have to watch that into this weekend and then into early next week. Again, do we have people who are really excited they're getting a second chance to buy the breakout, or do they just let it go? If you look at the rest of these, really underperforming. So Ethereum, again, this is the 200-day moving average, the thin blue line, and the thicker blue line is the anchored VWAP from that last traded high. It's been stuck between those for weeks now. So Ethereum can't really get going. Solana can't really get going. It's having the same problems here. So it's one of those markets. It has been for a while. Bitcoin is king. Everything else is just whatever. So ideally, we want some kind of broader crypto participation to happen in order to propel us higher. Taking a look at some traditional currencies here for a second, the dollar is continuing to fall here. So I thought it was funny that, we broke this prior resistance and then we fell down, then we broke support and we popped back up. But ever since then, the dollar has been falling here and is now back under this support zone. So a continuation lower on the dollar is not going to be a great thing for equities. You got to remember that these big companies, it's not so much that they like a dollar that's ripping or a dollar that's tanking. It's more about that they like stability in the dollar. If you think of what happened during 2023, 2024, when the dollar wasn't really moving too much, not many people were really talking about it, that those were more bullish days for the market. That was the end of that last bear market into the 2024 bull market. And the reason for that is that if, imagine you're running Apple, it's way easier to plan your business if you know that the dollar is going to be X versus other currencies and not fluctuating around too much. They have whole FX hedging departments that are trying to make it so that this is easy for them. Those guys are having a much harder time predicting the price of the dollar right now, I guarantee you, than they normally do. So some headwinds there, right, where the dollar is selling. Again, this is a basket of other currencies, so it has Canadian dollar, euro, pound, yen, all of that against it. And again, we are consolidating there quite nicely. Not too much else is standing out to me too much, but I did want to go over some interesting sectors. And one of the main ones was, let's go MSOS. So the marijuana sector, I can't believe I've been saying this now, but we're showing some relative strength. It's not moving lower. The gap down today wasn't nearly as much as everything else. Now, this isn't a sector I ever think is going back to $60 a share or anything like that, but could be an area for a potential short-term bounce. So when I take a look at that, it makes me think of, right, psychedelics. They're obviously holding on really, really strong here, up today when the whole market's down. And then when it comes to the rest of the things that were moving today, aerospace and defense continues to be strong. So this is one that I want to watch as well. So grab your Boeings, your Lockheed Martins, all of that, but couldn't even come back down to where it broke out of, and putting in a little bit of a bull flag. So we are getting a bifurcated market is basically what I'm trying to say here, where in which we have a market that we have some stocks going up, some stocks going down, some sectors doing well, some sectors doing poorly. And overall, the market, I would just classify it as choppy until proven otherwise. So we have to watch that 200-day moving average on Tuesday. We have to see what happens there. Do we continue to lift from that 200-day moving average? Does that actually let go? If it does, thankfully, our mean reverting systems will be bidding a whole bunch underneath. And then if we break that, hopefully we'll have a little bit of bounce, so those pay off. Then we have some trend following systems above, again, that we'll end up watching as well. So choppy market, this is the time where you want to trade certainly multiple strategies. You want to be looking at multiple instruments. So, crypto did very well this week when some things didn't. So make sure that you're looking around out there. If you're just trading the SPY or the Qs, it was very, very hard this week. Looking around there were some other things to certainly trade. So thank you guys for tuning in. As always, Stats of Pro members, pay attention to your email. I will be sending out those algorithmically picked stocks for you guys very soon. If you're interested in that, go to statstrading.com, check it out, give us a try there. Again, the new data trading systems have been working excellently in this boring market, and this is all I do now is build new systems and design new systems so that I can push that to you guys. And remember, we have a long weekend, so for an extra long time, get away from the screens.